What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another episode of Vlogmadan. It is day 12, episode 13. Juma Mubarak. I'm about to go to Juma, so I will start the video when I get home. But essentially, we are going to be talking about my ownership of my 2008 BMW 335i equipped with the infamous N54 engine. So we're going to talk about if the stereotypes are true, how bad really is it reliable, can you trust it, blah 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 blah. But the real thing I wanted to address today is that is owning an N54 really that bad? So yeah, now that I got that out of the way, I'm gonna go head to Juma, and then once I get home we will get started on this video. And I may or may not do this in the garage because it's kind of windy outside, so we'll see. I might just shoot b-roll and then talk over it, but you know how it is. So I'll catch you guys when I get home. Alright guys, I will go to my car later because number one, it's very windy outside. Number two, my neighbor's kids are outside being very loud. So yeah, we're gonna talk about my car, my 2008 BMW 335i N54 engine. So let me get I guess let me break it down into like 4 parts. So, are the stereotypes true? Is it reliable? Most notorious problems? And should you get one? Okay. Alright. I already forgot the first thing. Give me a second. So, are the stereotypes true? This one is circumstantial. So, if you've owned this car since you purchased from factory, which I highly doubt unless you're like a super enthusiast, there's a greater chance that you are a second-hand owner of this car. So this question really, it depends. It's circumstantial because it really depends on how the previous owner took care of the car. Did he or she baby it, or did they always send it and redline the car? Did they stick to routine maintenance, or did they cheap out on certain things and just let it ride until the check engine light came on, stuff like that. So it honestly depends. It's, like I said, it's circumstantial because, for example, I got lucky because I don't know who my previous owner was. I got mine from a shady dealership, and I think this was a middle-aged man that wanted a fast car but didn't want to put too much into it. Because when I got it, I had catless downpipes, meth injection, charge pipe, blow-off valve, intake, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, and he had a boost controller or a boost gauge inside the car. So he definitely wanted to see some power. So I got lucky because I think he took really good care of it, since I haven't really had many problems with it. Like, if anything, I'm one vocal proponent of owning an N54. Like, I sort of advertise it, or I guess encourage people to trust their cars more for all the N54 owners out there. But yeah, so like I said, it's circumstantial. So it depends on who your previous owner was, if they stuck to routine maintenance, did they baby the car, or did they beat the hell out of it, and yeah, vice versa. So moving on to the next topic. Okay, this one is actually kind of tricky to answer because my answer is also yes and no for this question. Is it reliable? So my answer is yes, because I got a good N54 and I also did a lot of maintenance on it. So when I dailied it for a little bit over a year, I had no problems whatsoever. But then again, it's still an N54, so it's not something that you would want to take on a road trip, come back home, and then still take to work daily. Because I mean, you can if you want. Don't get me wrong, but like I personally wouldn't, because this is like a car that I care about. It's a very powerful engine, and it's like it can handle it, but you're sort of shortening the life of it a lot quicker, if that makes any sense. So like the reason why I would also say it's unreliable is because there is way too many failure points, especially if you go up in horsepower. So if you don't replace these failure points, then like you just end up hurting the healthiness of your car. So I mean, just off the top of my head, valve cover gasket leak, oil filter housing gasket leak, water pump and thermostat, oil pan gasket, wastegate rattle. There's another one. It's where you like open up the intake manifold, walnut blasting because of all the carbon buildup. It's not. Oh, it's also not the most environmentally friendly car. So like, this is why my answer on this one is kind of weird. I really hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Like, in my opinion, like, once I get my car done, I'm gonna have to daily it for a bit, until I at least save up some money to get another car. And yes, I do trust it. It's just I also don't want to daily it, only because of how much I put into that car, and that's pretty much it. I really don't know how to describe it other than saying that much. So on to the next one. Okay, I touched up on this in the last topic, but like this car has a lot of failure points. Honestly, before looking at this, I completely forgot about most of these, but I talked about, I think I mentioned water pump, carbon buildup, wastegate rattle / failing turbos, valve cover gasket. I forgot to mention leaky or faulty injectors, which is why they came out with the Index 12 fuel injectors. And besides that, I mentioned water pump and thermostat. The Vano solenoids go out as well. What else? Oh yeah, you will for some reason just always have a boost leak somewhere, whether it be the vacuum lines or your charge pipe isn't like fully secure. You just gotta figure it out. So that's one thing. Permanent boost leak, or not permanent boost leak, it's like permanent 30FF, because I pretty much touched my whole engine, and 30FF went away for a bit and then it came back. But 30FF is essentially a failure code, or a fault code that essentially lowers the power. It puts your car in limp mode, so you can't break it even more, if that makes sense. So if you don't know that it's there, like obviously it'll send you that limp mode thing when it comes up, but like if you don't care, you can still kind of send it, but it's just like reduced power and whatnot. What else? Oh yeah, the high pressure fuel pump failure. Oh god, so many issues. This is what I was talking about. So like, yes, it's like it can be reliable. It's just, I don't know, I wouldn't daily this, only because of how many things are susceptible to failure and how much money you'll be spending just to make this a reliable daily, when you could just make this a really fun weekend car or a track car or just a nice car in general. Yeah. Okay, this last question, um, should you get an N54 in 2024? Now, in my opinion, it depends. If you're, first of all, actually, if you have money, um, okay, here. If you have a lot of money that you want to spend, go N54, big single turbo out the gate. Just do every mod possible because this platform has been out since 2007, I think. So it's 2024. 24 minus 7 is 17 years, I think. I hope math is correct. This platform's been out for 17 years, so every big power mod that's been thought of has been made into existence. So if you have a lot of money you want to spend, like an additional 10-15K after buying the car, then yeah, go get an N54. But if you're, I guess, like starting out and you don't have a lot of money, but you kind of want something a little bit faster than a 328, I would say if you know what you're getting into, yeah, get it in 54. But if you think you're in over your head or you don't want to deal with as many failure points, then get an N55, which is the engine that succeeds the N54. It's a little bit more reliable, but it still has its own faults, just not as faulty as the N54. And going back to what I said earlier, if you have a lot of money in the sense that you can buy a newer car and not have to worry about like financial problems, then this is like for the average consumer sort of thing, whereas like the first thing I said was more for the hot boy who wants to like mod his car to be like 1,000 horsepower, super killer, stuff like that, supercar killer. Yeah, so if you have a lot of money that you can just buy a newer car, I would get the B58 because the N54 is essentially the grandfather of the B58. So, like the N54 walked so the B58 could run. If you guys don't know what the B58 is, it is the engine in the Mark V Supra, the Z4, the any MX40Is, so M340i, M240i, M440i, any of the 40Is, any of the M40i models, they all have the B58. And essentially, like, just to keep things short, the B58 is it is a reliable, like extremely reliable N54. Just we'll put it at that. It has not as like the failure points were reduced heavily, and they just figured out how to make a high horsepower engine that was extremely reliable because they had the blueprint that was the N54. So I guess after saying all that, depends on really what it depends on what you want out of this car as well. So like if you want to go to the track and I don't know, I guess drift or do time attack, or I don't know, you want to do something kind of stupid with the car, if that makes sense, then I would say get the N54 because it's a lot older, parts are somewhat cheaper than the newer cars, which is also debatable, but it still is cheaper than the newer cars. So, and if you kind of want to just build like a super high horsepower big turbo build, then yeah, or if you just like, I don't know, you honestly, yeah, get the N54. But if you kind of don't want to go this route, then no, get the N55 or B58. They're a lot more reliable, you have more peace of mind, and you won't have to think twice about if it's going to break or not. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know my answers are sort of like wishy-washy, as in I tell you guys to get it and then I also tell you guys to don't get it. So it's like, so basically what I'm trying to say is This is a very good platform for somebody who wants to go big power. It practically has no limits. The engine can handle it. It's just once you increase power, you decrease reliability, and there are better options out there today, such as the B58, like I mentioned, where you can go big power. It can easily handle, I think, like 6 or 700 on the stock internals, and you can still have a reliable daily that you can take to the track on the weekends and whatnot. So yeah, I would say if you really want to have fun, get the N54. But if you don't want to deal with like all the headache and troubles, essentially, well, not essentially, because this is a 14-year-old engine, people have ran through them, so it's really hard to find one that's unabused and very clean and stock. It's really hard to find one that's stock. So yeah, if you don't mind all of those issues, or I guess I don't know what to call them, but if you don't mind those aspects of this platform, then go ahead and get the N54. But if you kind of don't want to deal with that, and you're just sort of like a weekend enthusiast car guy, where you just want to have something fun, you can drive to work and then do something crazy like drive in the canyons or on the back roads on the weekend, then I would say don't get the N54, because you would probably be losing money because of how much you have to put into it before it runs well and smooth, because of how old and abused this platform is. But yeah, that's my video for today, guys. I'm trying to make this as car related as possible. So it's I forgot what episode it is, but we have 12 to 13 more episodes, I think, of Vlogmadan. So yeah, don't forget, nothing's impossible. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.